Okay, I propose that we start. Like, hello everybody. If somebody else will join, we will let them in. Thank you for joining the meeting, the workshop about good practices on Roma inclusion. Like today, we wanted to, on one side, go a little bit and make a small check what's the status of each one of us with the project and everything. And after, together with Marius, we will introduce you the booklet, the guide, or how you want to call it, about good practices in Roma inclusion with the working methods, which actually their examples which you already implemented and you consider them good practices. We will introduce this and how we can use this material for our work in the future. Like, my proposal is that at the beginning we make a round, each one to introduce himself and maybe 2-3 words about their NGO and the status of the project in their country so far. And then the next steps, we will start with a methodological introduction, which Marius will make about the good practices. After, I will insist a little bit about the importance of inclusion and using these methods in order to increase the participation and inclusion of Roma communities. And at the end, we will go a little bit through the methods, and maybe each one of you can present a little bit or discuss a little bit about the method which you sent to us. What I want to ask you at the beginning, if it's possible, each one of you to go to your name, and maybe there is there, if you click on the box with your name, there is the 3 points, 3 dots, and at the end of that it's called rename, and put your name and the name of the partner, eventually country, in order that we can see who is what. Because some of you, I see an iPhone, an Ernest or something like that. And also I want to ask you if it's possible at the beginning to open the cameras to make a screenshot to document the meeting. Thank you very much for this. We wait for the others. Dorothea, can you open your camera? Veronica, Andrea, just very short. You don't need to change the pajama. It's okay also with the pajama. And Anna, we just do a short print screen and that's all. Anna, you are here? Welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Welcome, everybody. Okay, thank you. Thank you for joining the meeting. Unfortunately, Tamara, I don't know what emergency she have. And Alina, my colleague, she's in holiday. Like we were working all summer and now we started to get our holidays. And yeah, me and Marius will kind of lead the meeting. Please, if there are questions or I don't know, other things which you want to raise or just make a sign, open the mic or raise the hand if you know to use the Zoom, and we will be there for you. I propose to start with making a round to see who is here, and maybe we try to introduce a little bit the project, how it's in our country. Like I'm Daniel Grebeldinger, I'm working with Alina from Nevoparodimos from Romania. So far, I guess with this workshop, we closed the first working package, like all the materials are done and everything. And now we are in the status of doing the procurements to establish the access point for together with the municipality. We started having some meetings with the local actors, stakeholders, and I hope in 1 month until end of November to already have opened the access point for Roma. Actually, we see it not just as an employment access point, but something like a more complex, an access point to social services in general, where employment is one of them. Yeah, that's the status in Romania. Now it's a little bit harder to do meetings and things like that because we have the COVID situation, but people started to get vaccinated, and yeah, they realized that we need to do it, and politicians start to push for this. No more fancy news like we don't need or just, and we hope that in 1-2 months will be better. Okay, I will, I don't know, pass the floor to Angelica.
Thank you, Daniel. My name is Angelica Russo. I'm from Moldova, Terdezom Foundation from Moldova. So also we are now in the process of implementing and starting the lab. We started to communicate with authorities, with the local partners. So we're now beginning the process of establishing the lab. Thank you for this event, and I'm really curious about what are the results and what it will be. Thank you. And I'll pass to Ernest.
Hello, my name is Ernest. I am from the NGO Youth Space, that is in Ukraine. We also implementing. Can you hear me well? Because there are some noises around me. I'm at the work. Yeah, we start to implement also the lab. Actually, we started our active work at the second period because we had some issues in Ukraine generally with the new transnational program because of the auditors. There was no auditor and nobody could reimburse the money. So yeah, actually we started actively to work from the second period, and now we are ready to run after all everything done that had to be done previously. Yeah, and probably I will pass to Marius.
Marius?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Marius Vasiluța. I am working together with my colleagues from Nevo in this project, and my role was to put in a handbook form all the good practices from you guys, from the partner organizations, but also to make a methodology for all the data we collect, so we can have an output that could be used from your organizations, but also from any other organizations who can apply these methods, which will present in the following minutes. So that was my introduction, and also I can say to you that I am teaching sociology at West University of Timișoara. I'm also employed in social economy field. I'm part of an organization, a social economy organization. We have a project, we have collaborations with the municipality, with different structures from Romania, and I am familiar with this field. And I think that would be what I can say about me, very short version. So we can pass to Bogdana, maybe, or Rock. Petia.
I can do that. Hi,
Okay.
I'm Rok Petia. I'm responsible for the project implementation for the partner municipality of Murska Sobota. We have just established a Roma lab in Puszcza with computers, projectors, tablets, and printers. And we had the official opening event in the middle of October. And at the moment, we have also started implementing the first workshops. And as I said in the meeting before, we signed an agreement with 15 institutions that will implement programs in the Roma village. So that's from me. Maybe Veronica?
Hello, everyone. My name is Veronika Kárpáti. Andrea Wöller, and I represent the project partner 3 today. We are from Zala County, Hungary. And currently we are working on the elaboration of the learning lab. The place was defined. We contacted with the local municipality, and the procurement process is in progress. And I give the floor to Anna, maybe.
Yes, hi again, everyone. Good day. I represent the Institute for Cultural Relations Policy. We're based in Budapest. We're working basically on the topics of the international relations, diplomacy, minority issues. I myself, I'm deeply engaged in minority issues and all the topics in regards with the minorities in different countries, actually, and regions. In regards with the project at the moment, we faced some issues in regards with our national agency and the certification, although we're proceeding now, and hopefully everything will be well during the other reports. And at the end of November, we're planning to launch the opening of the learning lab in Budapest, in one of the parts of the city where the Roma population is tightly based. That's much, I think. Thank you.
Hi, colleagues. My name is Boba, and I'm representing Know-How Center from Serbia, which is the partner in this project as well. Also from Serbia, the meeting is my colleague Igor Kostić from representing Roma Inclusion Office, which is the provincial government body dealing with social inclusion of Roma. Know-How Center is an NGO, and I represent NGO this time. So we are working jointly on Roma inclusion programs and projects for many years. I think most of you know, because we already presented ourselves during the meeting. So Igor, if you would like something to add.
Just to say hi from my side, and nothing more to add. That Bogdanka said that the Provincial Office for Roma Inclusion is working on different projects, and for this activity we presented 3 good practices related to early child development and the activation of young Roma with the labor market and educational workshops for employment. Thank you.
Hello, good morning. Maybe I can be next. Or Dorothea, you wanted to? No. Okay, my name is Jiří from Czech partner. We have met already on meetings before. So I will present our status of the project. At the moment, we are in the stage that we are preparing learning labs. We would like to launch at the end of November or beginning of December. And now we are recruiting the participants and preparing meeting room, and also we're preparing the set of materials for them at the moment. Okay, so maybe I can pass it to the next speaker.
Okay, if you don't mind. So my name is Dorothea Novak. Today I'm representing Rizdvorec Rakičan on behalf of my colleague Tamara Muhic. She does apologize. She's unable to attend today, but she sends regards. So RIS, as lead partner, is currently implementing all the activities necessary for successful implementation of the work packages, and is currently in the process of preparing for the next stage. Yes. So learning labs and so on. We are currently, yes, trying to implement the activities as planned per the project application. Thank you.
Thank you, Dorothea. And I guess Andrea, the last one.
Please open the microphone because we cannot hear what you are talking.
Sorry. Hi everyone, my name is Andrea Veller from Hungary, from Zala County government. My colleague is Veronika Kárpáti, and she's already described our organization, and I am the communication manager in this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As I see, and as you see, we are in different stages of the project, but yeah, on slowly we will get on the same direction. I will give the floor now to Marius, and we will share the PowerPoint presentation with you, which Marius prepared, and in order that we have a better view about what is happening and how. Everybody can see it?
Yes.
Well, I can see it. Thank you.
Okay. As we said at the beginning, the workshop is concentrated on presenting the good practice methodology and the participatory methods, which we created. Actually, we contributed all together to create this material. And yeah, I guess the introductory part was said. I don't have too much to say, just the fact that we hope that this tool can be a very useful tool for every one of us in order to help us and also other civil society organizations and public institutions in their work with Roma communities. I will pass the floor now to Marius, maybe to make the introduction about how he started this and how he was organizing, and to present a little bit the methodology and his work.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. I'm watching now the presentation. Just a few words before I start with the first part. I want to say that I will talk about these introductory notions, then about the methodology together with Daniel. Then I will try to say a few words about every and each method we use in the handbook, and then we'll ask you to say a few words about the methods you used, especially about the results your organizations had using these methods. And finally, me and Daniel, we have the conclusions. So I'm glad to see you again. I know I didn't participate in all the meetings with my colleagues from NEVO, but we did our job, and we have here the proof of our work, of course, together with all of you, with all the partners in the project, and we are trying to present the result today. What exactly is it about? We will discuss in the following minutes about the collection of participatory methods and participatory activities used to increase the involvement and participation of members of the Roma community. Daniel, you can put the third slide with no, the third one. Okay, it's not this. It's the third slide, Daniel. Introductory notions. The following one.
Now, if you want, better you share the material. I will lead you how to do it, and it's easier that you go through. Can we do that?
Yes, of course.
You can open the document on your computer, and then down there, it's a green button, share screen. Perfect.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes. And yeah, you can go to the slide, like it's the button up near saving and all, and you push that button with the arrow, and it's presenting like full screen.
Okay. One, please. Okay. Okay, I will say a few words about the context in which this collection of methods was produced. The project Dream Road builds capacities of the public bodies to better cope with Roma issues through innovation and dialogue. And its aim is to provide community and representatives with the know-how to achieve this. And the long-term objective would be to create enduring and meaningful processes stimulating mutual responsiveness from all societal actors. We had a view with the structure of the presentation I prepared with my colleagues from NEVO. And I will start with talking about the partitioning process, and I will make a short introductions. There are some aspects related to theory, but also to practice, because theory and practice are and should be very closely related, regardless of if you work in the field of practitioners or in university or research institutes. I will start by bringing to your attention the introductory aspects about the participation process. As you can see in the presentation, I will highlight only a few aspects, obviously. First of all, what participation means. It's a process through which people become involved to some degree in the development process. And that its meaning that people can build a collective knowledge with the stakeholders, doing things together to improve the well-being in society, and implementing also the fastest growing innovation phenomena. Participatory later explains how a community can gradually transform itself from an almost completely passive spectator or beneficiary into the driver of its own process as an agent of self-development. We have a description of this process of participation, which has 4 levels. The first level, it's called being told, when people involved are informed, but decisions are made by professionals. There is a second level, being consulted, when the opinions of the people are taken into account, but the decisions are taken also by professionals. A third level.
Marius, the presentation, it didn't move. It's the same.
Because we don't have all the information in the presentation, and I am trying to develop a little bit these issues about the participation process, to explain a little bit what participation means.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see. Okay, we have the 4 level hills, and the 4th level, being in control, when people have the ability to make decisions, of course. In the following, and I will try to develop a little bit the information you can watch here in the presentation. I will present a scale which is used by sociologists. Just a little bit to see if we have this. Yes, we have the scale. We have a description with the stages of the 4 levels we have presented before. It is a scale, as I said, used by sociologists to analyze how public authorities inform and involve citizens in decision making. And this model has 3 levels. You can see it on the presentation. The first level, it's about non-participation, and These first two ranks assume a passive audience supplied with biases and incomplete information, and the aim is to look after or to instruct participants. The solution is to put forward as the most suitable and the participation work to seek public support to public relation. This is a distortion of participation. Then we have level 2. You can see it's about cooperation and symbolic changes in the process. The information, which was the stage 3 in the slide before, it's that the public is informed about what will happen or what is happening and what has already happened. It is an important first step. An important first step to legitimacy, and however, the information it's involving the transmission of idea and instruction with no feedback channel. Consultation people, in this stage, people enjoy the right to speak, expressed through various forms of investigation. And pacification is the stage 5, and at this level, people start to have a certain degree of influence. It is a first concrete step to the construction of relationships of effective interaction between those holding different levels of decision making. It provides the inclusion of a small number of representatives of a minority or marginalized social groups within in a committee or a body working to solve particular issues or social problems. We can pass to the level 3. Effective citizen power denotes the direct involvement of people in decision making. This is the third level, which includes partnership, delegation of powers. About partnership, which is stage 6, the public starts to negotiate with decision makers. They can assume roles and levels of controls in this process and in the management of specific intervention programs. And the last stage in this level, it's delegation of powers. This is partial but real delegation of powers. At this level, it is reduced the point where citizens play a significant role and accept responsibility for actions to be carried out. Okay, that would be some concepts, some notions about the participatory process and how people can be involved in this decision-making status, which is a whole processes. And I think that would be enough, and that's how much I wanted to convey about the process of community participation. And in the following, we'll try to pass to methodology. In this part, I will present with Daniel together, which is the methodology we use to collect the data. First part would be from Daniel, and the second part will be to present the handbook methods, and I will do this. So Daniel, you can talk a little bit about the way we have collected the data and the instrument we have used.
Initially, we had a discussion with everybody, and we agree about what we want with this material. Also, having in mind that we are different stakeholders involved in this project, we needed to foresee that the material can be useful for each group of stakeholders, like public institutions, NGOs, regional institutions or local ones. Also, I remember when we started to discuss about what kind of methods, how to present them, about what, and all those things, we looking into the different literature and different examples which are similar around Europe, not just targeting Roma, but also other groups. We agree to make a form as simple as possible, but with that form to underline some very important aspects, like, I don't know, type of method which you introduce, the target group which you target, the timeline, how long, how much time you need to implement this, and the type of institution who will implement this. And yeah, it was really a challenge to reach and to include the experience of each one of the partners in this material, because the partnership for this project, it's a very rich one, a very big one, and with a lot of different experiences in. What we realized after the first draft which we received, and after we proposed the first draft discussing with some of the partners, we realized that, okay, in order to have something which to bring together all the experience of all the partners and to bring something meaningful for each one of us, we need to find a way to put all this together. And that's why initially was a longer debate and discussion time when we discussed the initial form of the, because we agree to have the shape of a questionnaire, of a given form, a template for the methods which were introduced. And yeah, it was the longest discussion was connected with this template. And finally, we agree on a final shape, because just to introduce a project, it's nice, but to find some aspects which can define that project, okay, this one, it's a project which promote inclusion in education, or this one, it's a project which target this type of beneficiary, and to be also relevant for the topic of our project, like for Roma, it was really a challenge. We needed some time to agree on this form, and after each one of the partners contributed, we gathered the information from everybody. It was the first review of the materials which we received. In some cases, we asked partners to add some more information, or to change the presentation, or to adapt it to the reality of the form in order that we can use it. And yeah, after some exchange of emails, we managed to get very interesting, and I will say relevant informations for the materials which at the end we produced. I think yeah, it was a nice contribution and work together of all the partnerships which lead us to the material which we have now, which thanks to your work, Marius, we managed to also give him a nice shape and like to be easy to be used by everybody, and not just by us, the partnership, but also by other institutions. Yeah, that was the process. And when you come in the team, when Marius come in the team, we had already most of the methods gathered, most of the informations there, with common form and everything. And yeah, we just put them together and try to make the connection and help the users to use it easier, like make it user friendly. Yeah, that was the process. And yeah, I think what we will discuss about in the next minutes, it's also the contribution of everybody, and it's a great work. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Daniel. Actually, in the following minutes, in this part of methodology, which I will present, I will point out the main participatory methods that can be used by actors as NGOs or public authorities to intervene in communities. And these methods are the most common methods that are retained by theorists, but also by practitioners. And after I will present these participatory methods, we will try to see which are the methods our partners used that are not always the same. And we'll try to see which are the results our organizations attained by using these methods in their organizations. Okay, we'll pass to the participatory methods. I don't know if you can see. Can you see the first one? Appreciative inquiry. Can you see it on the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. The appreciative inquiry, it's about the worldview and the process for facilitating positive change in organizations, in groups, communities, and bring collaborative and strength-based change in also in for-profit and non-profit organizations, and also in communities. It can be used by individuals, by teams, by organizations, and also at societal level, community level. And in each case, it helps people to move toward a shared vision for the future by engaging others in innovation. You can see in the presentation a short version, and I will show you this short version for each method. And I think we can stick to the information in the presentation, which is a synthesis, and we will not develop the topic because it is the time. Obviously, we have over 20 methods, and we'll receive. Sorry for 1 moment. sorry for the interruption. I was saying we have over 20 methods, so we will present only the short version, and you will receive the developed version of these methods in the document we have prepared, which has around 200 pages for the details. Okay. So as you can see, the target group, it's formed by individuals, but also by organizations, community or group. This method, the appreciative inquiry, suppose planification and transferability as a method. It is recommended for large and medium organizations, as you can see, both in public and the private sector. The experts in this method are talking about 5 principles which can apply to this practice. It's the constructionist principle, the simultaneity principle, poetic principle, anticipatory and positive principle. And you can see we have 4 stages in this process, in this method, which is discovery, acknowledging and appreciating strengths, abilities, competencies, and others. The dream, which is supposed to project an ideal image of the future self or career or goal or the objective we have. Design, it is related to the reality of what you are and what you have, and to the ideal image created and starting a complex plan built on that relation, and delivery, which mean to act and establish the design, which is the actual work or learn process. So in a few words, that would be our first method. We can pass to the second one, which is participatory budgeting. As you can see, this method, it's a democratic, a democratic discussion and decision-making process, and it's targeting different kind of organizations, also local government, governmental agency, community, and other organizations. It is highly recommended as method to be used by public entities, especially local municipalities, and the planning process involves the following: hiring and collaborating with an expert or a facilitator, in particular for the activities which involve citizen, to support documentation regarding the interest of citizen, and for the physical meetings with the citizen, the most participatory budgeting need to include about 2-3% of the targeted population. And last but not least, the environment set up for the planned meetings. The implementation of this method, participatory budgeting, involves two phases. First one is to organize and hold public meetings with local authorities and citizens in order to identify which are the general needs of the community, and phase two to reorganize citizen proposals and group them as feasible in larger groups. The project that will be forwarded to the voting phase are determined by the outcome of these discussions. Of course, last but not least, we should be made available the information and this method to all citizens. We have online tools that would be very useful in this regard, and communication should be managed. The last one, it's to phase is to vote, and the results must be made public with a description of all initiatives and the amount of votes assigned to each of them. And as I said, this method is recommended for public entities, especially for local municipalities, to involve the citizen, a large number of the citizen in the process making, in the decision-making process. We will try to go to the next one. Okay, the third method, participatory consensus conference. As you can see, it's about a conference format, which is known as citizen panel. It's a method of debating high-tech policy issues with a mix of individuals and professionals. This method of participatory consensus conference is in contrast with the other model, which include people's perspective, arguments, worries, reasoning on diversity of societal problems, societal issues. The participatory consensus conference main objectives is to improve technology decision making by broadening perspectives and to promote public awarenesses of science and technology through public debate. As target group, as you can see, the strategy works with a mixed group of people. And to apply this method, we have 6 steps or activities we should follow. The first one is that the experts' responses to questions to be heard by the people in the panel. Those people ask follow-up questions, and the next stage, the next phase, is that the audience is given the opportunity to make questions, and we are trying through this method to obtain, of course, a consensus of the people implied on a specific issue. And the last two activities the people implied should do is to present, of course, their findings and to propose a report on the outcomes and to make public this report to media and decision-making authorities. In order to have an effective participatory consensus conference, you should plan and you should choose an advisory committee to be in charge of ensuring all the rules of a democratic process, and organize a public meeting to notify the public, the specialists in the field, in the topic, in the problem you are discussing, also the media and the decision-making bodies as the municipalities. You must, if you try to use this method, to choose representatives for the citizen panel and to ensure that you have a sample, a representative sample of the community. The specialists are saying that you need about 14 people in this sample, and it is important to also to try to have a professional facilitator to assist the people in this panel and in this preparation. So in short, that would be the third method. We are trying now to go to the next one. I'll try to have shorter discussion on each method. Method 4 is about citizens panel. This method should be for representative and consultative body, the municipalities. You can see the target group are any citizens interested in becoming representative of community, of interest group, politicians, and so on. And citizens who agree to participate will be invited to a continuous research and consultation program, regular surveys and in-depth research instruments like focus group, workshops, which are often used, but not every panel member will be requested to participate in every activity. This method it's recommended also for large organizations, and it's suited for public sector especially, and which would be the stages for implement the method. The first one is to establish a staff and tasks. This is necessary because you will need to to appoint a person who will coordinate this method. And the project staff need to be hired, of course. The staff is responsible for the execution of some tasks like selecting the advisory committee, jury selection, developing the agenda, logistical issues, training with the moderators, media and publicity, and there are also other tasks they have they have to do. An advisory committee is needed as well. Before forming the advisory committee, the sponsor and staff should agree with the project overall timetable and scope. And the next stages would be the panel selection, the recruitment, establishing the charge, developing an agenda, and select, recruit experts, and of course, taking care of the logical issues. I will not go in depth with every stage. And I will stop here with the third method. We'll go to the next one because we have 20. Okay, so the method number 5, it's crowdsourcing. It's a well-known method which is often used by the NGOs. So it's a method for obtaining services, ideas from a person, group, or company by asking for contributions from a large number of people. In this period, it's especially used the online crowdsourcing because online public participations improve the policy making process, and in general we have better policies, fostering trust, increasing policy acceptance, and so on. Public participation increases the participation of marginalized or vulnerable populations. It's a ethical practice that the crowdsourcing results are being returned to the public. As target group, we have a widespread participation. We have the population, the general population, and of course this method implies planification. It is recommended for also for public and private sector entities, but we know best that this method is used by the NGOs. About the planning process, we have to hire and collaborate with at least an expert. We have to take care of logistics, to take care of the online technology, and to send invitations to all participants. And there are some aspects about how to do crowdsourcing. For example, to go online with the public, that would be very important. The duration of the campaign must be explicit. citizen must be informed about the impact of their contributions. They must be informed about who, when, where will be informed about the results. And the implementation of this method includes 6 steps for an effective crowdsourcing. First of all, conceiving a public announcement and try to use an online tool for doing this. Then emerging a publicity campaign about this activity. And the third step would be collecting the opinions, ideas, suggestions about applying this method. Then analyzing the collected data, conceiving and publishing a report on the data analysis, and the last one, considering that participant citizens' proposal into final decision that is being made about the problem you have considered, the topic you have considered for this crowdsourcing. Okay, we'll pass to the next one. Sixth method. It's a process of deliberation, as you can see, when various people from groups, subgroups, subcultures in society come to an agreement in a short period of time. The target group would be local residents and representative of specific groups and subgroups, but also NGO officials and officials from the administration. We'll try to see the recommendations for this method would be especially for NGOs, because we are targeting organizations which are small or medium, and NGOs are especially in this category. What we need to know about this method, it's that you should invite everyone and start as soon as possible with meeting people face to face. Those who are directly impacted, those who are influenced, and decision makers to participate, to plan an workshop that gives participants enough time to work on an issue before presenting their findings, general sessions, small groups, small work groups, report back to the broader group, and feedback sessions with presentations from technical staff or decision makers are all part of the process. As an observation, it's a little bit difficult to invite all these actors, all the stakeholders in this period. Of course, we have face-to-face interactions which are very limited, but also some of the stakeholders are not very easy to be reached and to be made part in this method, but also in other methods, which implies, for example, official from the administration, from the government. Okay, we'll try to go further. the next method, Dragon Dreaming. It's a method that try to facilitate cognitive and intuitive understanding, allowing for a complete perspective. The target group are the people working with project management, and includes all kinds of organizations, public and private, also NGOs. You will need a facilitator to implement this method, and of course, basic goals and meeting ground rules. It is a method recommended for private organizations and NGOs, for small and medium organizations. We have 4 phases, and you have developed informations on this method in our document we will provide to you. I'm trying now to go to the next one. Forum theater, another well-known method, especially for the NGO sector. I think many of you have used already this method in your activities, in your projects, especially if you are trying to put in place non-formal approaches and you are working with groups. This is a suitable method to use. I'll try to pass to the description. It is also known as participatory theater, and this is a method which is used as a democratic political forum, and it's similar to a traditional play in that it represents the community experience on a particular subject. The target group is formed by people which can be students or employees from non-profit organizations or community members in NGOs, in churches, and so on, social work institutes, union, activist groups, and other groups. Okay. The recommendations for this method, of course, depending on the context, is to be used by private organizations and NGOs, from small to medium and large organizations. You have here the 6 phases for implementing this method, from preparation to the evaluation of the public. We'll go now to the next one, which is called Open Space. It's about a new conference style. We can use it as a participatory method, or a method which will increase participation of the community members to decision-making process. The goal of this method is to increase participant interaction and communication. Target groups is the community, the members of the community, so the general population. we say that this method is recommended for large public and sector organizations. And as you can see, we have some rules for using this method. And of course, we have some stages starting from presentation, theme illustration, and the implication of the facilitators who explain how the process works. To the discussions, we have to group the people in task groups and record the results. And then the conclusions, so rethinking, and the participants will gather again to exchange ideas and reflections about the group activity. The idea, the documents, other materials generated in this method will add to implement neighborhood participation project. So it's a very useful method for NGOs, for the third section, for the third sector. We can go now to the next one. And I will try to to pass from one method to another in the next 5 minutes, so we can have time to go to the other sections. The 10th method, it's named business simulation game. It's a simulation where players with hard and soft skills are put together, and it regards the business world. And this game can be used to try different concepts, different approaches to the business. And this business games was introduced in economics and business departments in the schools, where students were taught through board games and other exercises. As you can see, this method is fitted for private organizations and group, but also for educational groups. It is recommended for all sizes, private and public institutions. We have a list of objectives we have to follow when you are implementing this this method, and you can see these objectives the presentation. I will not try now to develop this topic, and I will try to go to the next one, method 11, World Cafe. Again, this is one of the well-known methods used by NGOs. As you can see, this method it's suitable for a variety of ways to accomplish specific aims in different situations. We have creative cafe, strategy cafe, leadership cafe, community cafe. So World Cafe followed the idea and the format established by the World Cafe, a global movement dedicated to support meaningful conversation in a corporate, government, community context around the world. This method is recommended for large public, and we are targeting also public and private organizations. We have 7-step implementation of this method. You don't have this in the presentation. Shortly, first phase, you have to pay attention to why you're bringing folks together and what you are hoping to accomplish. Then the second one, cafe hosts all around the world stress the significance of the environment that feels safe and welcoming. Then you have to answer to intriguing inquiries and find questions that are related to the group real-world concerns. Then, as leaders, we are more conscious of the importance of participation, and it's critical to encourage everyone in your meetings to share their ideas and perspectives, and so on, until the conversations at one table reflect a pattern that extends to the other tables. The cafe final step is making this pattern evident to everyone in a broad group discussion. I will only mention the others methods because there are 20 methods, and we don't have the time anymore. 12th method, it's named Hackathon. The next one is the MOLA. And of course, you have a short description about this method. We have a video tutorial as method, motivational video pitch, planning cell, citizen report, roundtable discussion, of course. A lot of these methods are in a way similar to others we have already presented, but they are in different forms, and these 20 methods are maybe the most usual methods you can encounter in practice. Sorry. Century Town Meeting as a method. It's method number 18. And we have also 2 horizontal supporting methods. You know very well, and of course you are using these methods in your current activity, brainstorming and speed dating. And I will try to stop here with the discussion about the methods we are which are used at most, and try to go now to the discussion with our partners. And Daniel, I will ask you to be the moderator of this part about the results obtained by our partners by applying the methods they have shared with us.
Thank you, Marius. If there are questions from the colleagues.
Yes, if I may have a question. I wonder if, so in this methodology, I did not see the one that we provided. I mean, out of 3, none of them is here. Is it in a way that there is selected at least one methodology per organization, or it's like selected in some way that it's possible that one organization is not included at all?
No, what we have done, we included in the methodology the ones which were completed according with the guideline, like, and fitting the best for the, like, if you just, because we had situation when partners just presented the project, which is not really a method, a working method, or a, and that we could not include. And yeah, if when we sent the emails back with the comments, we didn't receive any answer, we included what was okay and what was according with the requests. That's the only thing. We didn't, I know, took from one partner or the other.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Other questions? We still, like for the colleague which put the questions before, we, like, it's not published the material. We can still introduce a method if you have it, but to be according with the description and what we request initially.
Okay, Daniel, we are short in time now, so if we can have very short interventions, maybe 2-3 minutes from each partner with the results related to their methods we have collected from each one.
Okay, who want to start? Okay, then let's start with Serbia, Roma Inclusion Office. Do you remember what method you sent, and just to tell us 2 words about where was implemented and what was the main results of using it?
Well, Igor is here, but I'm not sure that he has that information at this moment, as he just joined the team. And
Exactly.
I really, yes, and I really don't know what was the method that that was sent by Roma Inclusion Office. I didn't receive it, and know-how center didn't have it in our project plan document and the budget. But well, I know that we are using the participatory methods during the years, so maybe we can check with the colleagues what they sent and send you information later on.
No, we have them already, Like we just
Okay.
wanted to share with us what was good, what was bad in using this. But yeah, if
Well,
you
I
are
don't
not
think that
aware
we can
about-
discuss on that at this point because our learning labs are just to start.
No,
So
Bogdanka, it's not about the learning lab. Like
yes,
here,
but it's about the participation, the work with beneficiaries.
yeah, but here we
And
selected.
we will work.
No,
Yeah.
you didn't understood.
Okay.
Like here we selected a set of methods which you already used.
Okay, like in some previous projects.
Exactly. And what we
I
wanted
really
to,
don't know what they sent.
yeah,
So
and what we
sorry.
wanted to know from each partner, okay, if I used, I don't know, Forum Theater,
Yeah.
this was good in my Forum Theater, this was bad in my Forum Theater. I recommend you in the future, if you use it, to take care on this or this.
Well, we really don't have that information right now about the
Okay,
Roma Inclusion Office because the colleague who
I'm recently joined to the office and I apologize really. I was asked
okay.
to participate, but I don't have the real experience of implementing those previous projects. I know that the office sent 3 different methods, but I cannot provide you more than with the more information than it's on the paper. So I really don't have any on know-how what was good and what was bad to share some kind of practice from that. I
Okay,
apologize.
if somebody else from the people who are here present, they know what methods they sent and they want to share something with us on, I don't know, this was good, this was bad, this you can take care when you use this method. To make it much more easy, like to not go to everybody and tell us that you don't remember.
Daniel, I have some other comment, if I may say. So our proposal also will talk about what we proposed. Our proposal was about the, it was mostly for NGOs, about the middle and small size groups. It was religion education related and culture education related, which was inclusive in terms of it was a group work. And since it is not here, maybe I can resend it to you, or you can just send me more questions so I can reply to you finally, because we also had someone else working with us who is not at the organization at the moment. So I really would like to give some more information about the proposals that we had.
Okay.
If it's not too late.
If you can send me an email with what you sent initially, I will give you again the feedback on it, because honestly, in our team was Alina dealing with this.
Yes,
I'm
yes, I remember.
organizing now the workshop, but yeah. Okay.
All right, I will mail you.
Thank you. If there are not other comments, or I don't know, some of the partners to present because you don't remember the methods and all the things, please, if possible, the ones who see your names on this list, check in the final document. I will send you after this meeting the final document which we have so far. Check that document. If you think that you want to send a method there, or you want to contribute, send this material. We will include it because in 2-3 weeks we will make the final version and publish it, and that's all. As conclusions, after this exercise, what I can tell you for sure is that what we realize is that there is a lot of expertise in the field, and each one of the partners had a significant work so far, and they can contribute with experience. What we realize that most of us, we are extremely busy and we don't have time to look back to see, okay, I have done this was good. Let's see how I use it also after or more times. Or we are always struggling to do activities and work, which sometimes it's, I don't know, it's the first time when we do it and will not be so good. That's why what we realize now with this experiment, like with gathering this good practices, is that in most of the cases, we don't use on long term what we discovered that it worked very well once. Because it's a new project, a new idea, a new thing. We always try to invent new things, but the ones which were useful, we are thinking, okay, it's working, but let's see other. What we are doing now in Nevo, it's that, okay, if this worked, let's try to use it. Maybe we will try some new things or adding some things to this, but if this is working, let's use it. Because always each community have their own specificity, and until you manage to work really with that community, you lose a lot of time on gaining the trust and all the steps. And when you manage to build the capacity to really work together and to have a real communication and participation of both sides, if you come with a new method next week, you will need again 1 year to see how really to do it. That's what we realize with this experiment and with some other. And yeah, if somebody else from the participants want to add something, please. If not, I want to thank you for your participation. I want to thank Marius for the work and for putting them together and for managing to find a common, I don't know, understanding of everything what we are doing, even if we are very different like partners. And yeah, see you in the next meetings.
Thank you, Daniel and Marius. It was really interesting.
Thank you all. Daniel, if I can say
please,
2 or 3 words as a conclusion. First of all, thank you to all the partners for the involvement and for their support. We had discussions on email about their contributions, and it is their merit because they are organization with experience in the field that can help in the future to do what we try to do, to transfer good practices from their own organization to other interested actors from their own countries or even from other countries. And secondly, I want to thank my colleagues from Nevo who had important contributions for the methodological design, especially to Daniel, and for data collection. I say it was a very good tool that allowed us to reach the results we have present now. And also, I hope that this collection of methods will be a real help for the organizations that want to have this kind of help in their activity. Okay, thank you once again for your contributions, which have made possible to complete this activity in the project.
Thank you again and see you next time, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.